Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Alex and EJ here.
Hi.
And we're back with your fishing report. So we got a couple things going on this week, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So let's start off with Rockfish.
Yeah, definitely. So I had a chance to get out there Monday. Don't forget, by the way, before I get into that, really today and tomorrow is really the last day that you can fish for them. So did really well on Monday. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I did on Monday that worked for me. And these things will only get better once we get back in September.
Yeah.
So if we can come down here, old school, bucktail and minnow. I love it. You know, a lot of folks want to use the soft plastics, and that's all good, and they all work. But I tend to want to go back old school, especially in the fall. Love to bounce them off the bottom. So trust your electronics. If you see them stacked up on the bottom, you know, throw a bucktail and minnow down there, let the current take you, and then just kind of bounce them. These are some of the colors that I like. You can never go wrong with the chartreuse and the white. I'm typically a 1 ouncer, and you know, decent sized minnow on
Keeping
there.
the bottom better.
Exactly, exactly. Get me down to the bottom, let me bounce off the bottom, and you get some serious strikes off of those.
So are you using an actual bull minnow, like
Yes.
like an actual live minnow?
Yes.
There you go. So it's a little old school. That is old school.
It's old
And you
school.
know what's like everybody talks about old school stuff coming back.
That's right.
And that's one technique that everybody kind of forgets about, but it actually produces a lot of
That's
fish.
right. So I think what's important for me is to have a plan A, B, and C. So I will try the traditional ways that we're using now, you know, the soft plastics, especially if I see them like that false bottom look. But if I can't get them to bite, yeah, that's kind of my go-to, and it works. It does.
And what areas were kind of doing better for you this past week?
Yeah, so in the mouth of the rivers, I'm sure that's where you know you're going to be able to find them. I got mine in the mouth of the Magathie. There's a ledge that runs along where the crab pots are, and you always see fish there. And you know the fish are there because people are there. Right. So just kind of go slow, trust your electronics. Look for those fish. One cool thing to try with these bucktails, and again, we didn't show this one, but this is an old school bucktail. This works as well, and we have plenty of these here. One of the things that kind of works with that is to troll.
Right.
So if you see them in the water column versus that false bottom, troll for them. It's fun. And when spinning tackle,
Yeah, lighter spinning tackle, right.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and especially if you're not, one of those guys that likes to troll that much, it's a lot better. Not better, but let's say it's fun to fight those fish on those lighter spinning gear.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I've heard some stuff about pretty much, again, down towards the hill, Bloody Point, that area in there was north side of Poplar Island. A couple guys were out there live lining spot, and they were doing okay, nothing crazy, but if you're on that area, and it's the closest area to you, they were catching good sized fish, which is, for nowadays like 22, 24 inch fish on live spot. The only thing is then you want to have a lot of spot with you because bluefish are in that area and they will cut them up a little bit. So same thing, so same thing, north side of Poplar Island, you haven't heard this for a long time, the hill. It used to be a hot spot back in the day. 35 foot of water. You can go a little bit shallower. It's a steady drop off there on that north side. Get some tide movement, and you can anchor up or just drift. If there's more boats around there, then obviously you don't drift through the middle of them. But that was pretty good for that. And of course, you still have the mouth of the Patapsco, the 7 foot, 9 foot knolls, producing some fish on those knolls up there. And that was pretty much a whole talk about this whole week. And like you said, everybody's kind of getting ready to switch gears. In the next week.
Exactly.
So
so we're gonna be in this little break that we have here. We're gonna be targeting some mackerel. And I saw your Instagram. You tore them up.
Down south. I mean, those fish are here. We've been getting good reports of fish, pretty much now in the mouth of the Eastern Bay. Some guys are catching them right at the mouth of the Severn, Tallis, and Hackett's Point. And I got a surprise report from one of my buddies, my buddy Kyle actually, who was fishing right inside the Severn, right on Round Bay, and they actually caught mackerel all the way up there. And it's funny because it's been 2 years in a row now from people, reporting mackerel all the way up there, which is nuts. But they are here. Not in so many numbers as down south. Like me personally, I was down towards Point Lookout. I was in Point Lookout, way down there. And I mean, it was amazing Spanish mackerel, just casting, you know, small metals and small epoxy jigs onto them and just burn them with light gear, and it's always fun. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be chasing birds, chasing schools of bait fish, that's your hot tickets right there. Epoxy jigs, 7/8, I believe that's the weight they got. This is the silver mac and the silver. You want to match what they're eating. I mean, this is the colors that they're eating. And sometimes they can be really finicky with their colors. And if they're really finicky, sometimes you might want to have it 3/8, which is a lot smaller profile, as you can see right there. That will buy you a couple more bites. And remember, when you're fishing for mackerel, you're not jigging, you're not doing any of that. You cast it as far as you can, and when I say you burn it in, you burn it in.
Absolutely.
And I know you were talking about that reel there, because that's exciting news there.
Yeah, so what Alex is saying is 100% true, and I lived it last year when we went out of the mouth of the Magathie, because the mackerel were all the way up to, like, even past the Baltimore Light, and I'm hoping that happens again this year. And I was throwing the Colt stickers.
Snipers?
Colt snipers. And I wasn't catching any fish, and my wife was catching small rockfish. So if you're throwing it out there and you're catching tiny rockfish, and you're just not getting anything, I mean, you really have to burn it. And a lot of guys have talked to me about it. Well, that makes my bait fly up to the top. So here's the secret, guys. At least what works for me, and Alex, you can step in. Hold it down. Hold your rod tip down and really burn it in. And again, I know we talked about this on the What's Hot. We're going to do some more videos on the new Penn reels.
That's a Battle 3. That's a high gear.
High gear, yeah. What's the rate of retrieval?
It's pretty fast. I don't know about the actual retrieval. I mean, the retrieve rate is like 40+ inches of line per crank. So
there you go.
That's really fast. So with that saying, you know, you got a lot of mackerel going on right now. If you're trolling for them, size 2 planers with some of these hard-hit bomber spoons, size 1s or 2s. Everybody keeps talking about that color there being hot. Like I said, use the 2s with the bigger spoons if you have to, and then the 1 size planers with those. And this guy here I'm excited for. This is pretty much a small inline planer, which you can use on heavier spinning tackle.
I didn't even know we had that.
So that guy there, if, like for me personally, that I don't like to troll, but sometimes you have to. Have your heavier chumming rods or a 7-foot medium heavy rod. Put it on there. It works the same way as a planer. Shorter leader, maybe 8-foot leader with even one of those guys. And then one thing you can do in there, it's actually add a ball bearing snap swivel in there, so it actually spins, and you can just troll them.
Cool.
So that's one way to go. Now for you guys down south, talking about Point Lookout and whatnot, that I know every year we talk about them, but believe me, I saw a couple of those charter boats when I was fishing down there towards the target ship. They were switching, I guess they limited out on mackerel. They started switching to those, and they started catching some decent sized cobia.
That's awesome.
They were kind of throwbacks. I did see one big one getting pulled overboard, but you have some of those. Hasn't been the greatest in Maryland waters. You still have to run south, but there's always big bull reds, mackerel. I mean, we were catching small redfish right on the shoreline, flounder, speckled trout. So everything that we're talking about pretty much is going to relate from Point Lookout as far as north as pretty much the South River. I've been getting a lot of reports of small puppy drum on the South River. They're about that size, but they're always fun. People catching on perch pounders and inline spinners. So.
That's awesome.
But perch fishing, it's been good too. And I know
definitely did that. One thing I'm going to add real quick to the whole mackerel attack is, I know we talked to this yesterday, but I think it's worth re-mentioning. We had a lot of people come in and get these. I love to troll, and I love to troll these for mackerel, these little Clark spoons, this size. But I like casting into birds way more than trolling. It's a lot of fun to feel that hit. And don't forget, we have these Clark spoon casters now. So this one's this one's a ½ ounce. Put it right on the top of your spoon, and now you can throw the spoon out there into the mix. So yeah, very excited to try this. I haven't tried it yet, but I plan to. So back to perch. Perch are everywhere. They're literally everywhere. So my wife and I went out, like I said, on Monday, and we were in the Magathy, and literally every single pier we went to, we were catching perch with.
Nice.
Now, we were using perch pounders. I know they're a hot commodity, tough to find these days, but there are other alternatives to the perch pounder. I mean, the good old Mep spoon, the small ones. These work.
When in doubt, throw them out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of different little spinning lures that you can try for these perch. They're down there, they're hungry, they're going to eat. One thing I did want to share with you, if you're using a perch pounder out there or another small perch lure that has a single hook on it, and you've never tried this, again, me with the gulp, right? Put these little spinners on there, little twister tails, and you will outcatch anybody else in the boat with these. They love these things. So
they love them there.
Yep.
So for you shore fishermen, if you're trying to get some rockfish here in the last few days, Thomas Point State Park, of course you need a pass or make a friend with somebody that does. That's been actually pretty good. Kit and Arrows even got reports of Spanish mackerel from the guys
I saw
there.
that picture.
Yeah. From
cool.
some of the guys just shore fishing, catching Spanish mackerel there. And, you know, the Kit and Arrows obviously is going to be one of the better areas to go catch, you know, some rockfish and what else is swimming through there. Base it off the tides, though, if you're really trying to catch something. And the guys chunking bait out here are pretty much just catching the smaller rockfish. A couple small bluefish are starting to hit now in this area. A lot of jumbo, they're still around. They're always around, and they've been catching some jumbo-sized spot now.
Oh, nice.
With bloodworms. I mean, if you're croakers, haven't heard much, and if you are catching them, they're not that big.
Wow.
Even down south, it seems like it's a year, hopefully, where they'll show up a little bit later. But, you know, bloodworms, racer clams, that's been the ticket. Of course, everything eats a soft crab.
Of course.
But yeah, for you shore guys, shore fishermen, like I said, that's going to be your best ticket. Kent Arrows, Thomas Point, and if you're going for catfish, like actually trying to catch some good ones, North Point State Park, a lot of catfish up there.
Awesome.
A lot. Big channel cats and some big blue cats up there. So chunking LF for that will be your best option for that up there.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking at this break as an opportunity to try some different things. So Alex mentioned spot, and he said bigger size spot. If you have never caught a decent size spot, like the size of your hand, they pull like crazy. They're a lot of fun. Use a little bit of lighter tackle, and they are good eating too. I mean, the way we do is we blanch them and then make like a crab cake out of it, and it's delicious. So really good stuff.
And you get me hungry. Yeah, but besides that, I mean, ocean fishing wise, nothing really crazy to report. Just small blues on the surf. A lot of kingfish. If you guys are into those little kingfish, southern kinks, whatever you want to call them, bloodworms, fish bites, and whatnot on the surf. That's been kind of like the ticket right now to catch something over there.
How's flounder?
Flounder fishing's been okay. A lot of traffic on the back inlet, obviously because of the tournaments. And that's been pretty much, you know, kind of on and off. And depending on the weather. You know, we have some stained water because of the storm, so that kind of shut it off. Going offshore on the wrecks, they're catching a few, but nothing, you know, kind of crazy. And then tuna fishermen are still doing okay with chunking. But of course, we got another tournament coming up this week, so it's back to trolling for the next few weeks after these tournaments are done. So after that, we'll see really what happens. A lot of mahi, though, are starting to show up now, finally, out there on the canyons, on the oyster pods. So definitely, if you're trying to bring some meat home, that's the way to go. Washington, you know, Baltimore Canyon's way out there, chunking or even casting jigs and stuff like that.
It's my favorite eating fish.
Same. But you know, that's been the ticket. And crabbing wise, have you heard anything?
Yes, absolutely. Crabbing continues to get better and better. You're again, same sort of deal. Everybody has their spots. They're in the rivers. They're in the Magathy now. I know that was one of the ones that was hit and miss, but they're just pretty much everywhere. Primarily shallower water. That's what I'm hearing right now. And that may have something to do with the temperature. I don't know. But you can always do what I was suggesting before. You know, if you have two lines, put one of them in a little bit deeper. But between, I'm going to say, last time I said 10 to maybe 5 foot. I'm going to say now maybe 7 to 4 foot of water. And you're going to get them. Lots of customers have been coming in here saying, you know, the crabs that they're catching are just enormous. I saw some pictures of some of them.
Nice.
I wanted to get out there. We went fishing instead,
Yeah.
but I definitely plan on getting out there Monday. Yep.
Alrighty, guys, and I think that's it for your fishing report, guys. Keep in touch, send us all your reports, and you guys have a good one.
Take care.